Thank you for watching Why I Killed You TV. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this particular video and this particular YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate it. So today we're going to be talking about Ireland and how they need to investigate the missing villagers that they have. Now, if you guys have been watching the news, I'm sure you've heard about Michael Gaine, who was a farmer, and he was missing for quite some time, and he turned out to be dismembered in his slurry tank. If you haven't heard about that particular situation, I will link the video to that particular case in the description. Today we're going to be talking about Ireland once again and their missing villagers that they have. They have something called the Vanishing Triangle out there in Ireland, and this has been going on for over 30 years. So let's talk about Ireland's missing villagers and how Ireland needs to investigate what's going on with their missing villagers. A chilling mystery has grown on in Ireland's east coast. Over 10 young women have vanished from either bus stops, sidewalks, or driveways, often without leaving a trace. Many were never found because most of the young women all disappeared roughly in the same area. Investigators called it the Vanishing Triangle. What happened to these women and who was responsible? Phyllis Murphy was only 23 years old. She went missing in 1979 while waiting at a Newbridge bus stop. A few days later, her Christmas gifts were found nearby. On January the 1st, 1980, hikers discovered her body on the lonely road in the Wicklow Mountains. She had been strangled and showed signs of a violent struggle. Let's talk about another case. Anita Smith, she was only 27 years old at the time. She vanished on July the 12th, 1987, after a David Bowie concert in Dublin. She was last seen wearing some blue jeans and a Bowie t-shirt near O'Connell Bridge. In April of 1988, hikers found her remains in Wicklow Mountains. The coroner ruled that she had suffocated under a plastic bag. So we have another victim, Patricia Doherty. She was the mother of two. She disappeared on December the 23rd, 1991, when she left her home to buy a Santa hat. She never returned. On Christmas Day, her husband reported her missing. That summer, a turf cutter in the Wicklow Mountains found part of her arm and a hand. Dental records confirmed her identity, and the pathologist said she had been strangled. So investigators marked March the 26th, 1993 as the start of the Vanishing Triangle. That day, Annie McCarrick was only 26 years old. She left her Sandy Mount apartment to run errands and to catch a bus towards the Wicklow Mountains. She boarded her bus at 3 p.m., but she never reached the mountains and has never been seen since. Just 3 months later, on July the 25th, 1993, Eva Brennan, who was only 39 years old, was walking home from church in Galgar. She argued with a family member that evening and left, but she never made it back. Despite searching, her body was never found. Then on January the 3rd, 1994, Imelda Keenan, she was only 28 years old at the time. She left her Waterford City apartment to collect a welfare check. She never returned. Her family later found her glasses in her handbag, but her remains still are missing. So we're talking about villager after villager after villager turning up missing, never to be found again. Josephine JoJo Dullard was only 21 years old. She traveled by bus to Dublin on November the 9th, 1995 to collect a social welfare check. She spent the afternoon in a pub, then tried to hitchhike home. Her last known call was from a phone booth in Moon After Dark, and she never was heard from ever again. Fiona Pender was only 25 years old at the time when she went shopping for some baby clothes on August the 22nd, 1996. Then she returned home to Tullamore. When she didn't answer her door for 2 days, her family became concerned and reported her missing. In 2008, somebody placed a wooden marker in the Sleeville Bloom Mountains saying Fiona Pender buried here August the 22nd, 1996, but no remains were ever recovered. So Ireland really needs to investigate what's going on with their missing villagers in this Vanishing Triangle. Eva Brennan, she was only 17 years old. She disappeared on February the 13th, 1997, after a late-night chat with her mother. Her bedroom window was open, and she was gone by morning. A suspect was later arrested some years later but released for lack of evidence. Ciara's fate and whereabouts and her remains remain unknown. Fiona Sinnott, she was only 19 years old at the time. She left a pub in Ballyhit at midnight on February the 9th, 1998. She had been home earlier that evening playing with her baby daughter. The next morning, her apartment looked as if nobody had ever lived there. Neighbors saw trash bags with her name on them, but searchers turned up nothing. Fiona remains missing. Deirdre Jacob, 18 years old. She was spending the summer in Newbridge when she vanished on July the 28th, 1998. CCTV footage caught her leaving her grandmother's house that afternoon. Her last confirmed sighting was on a nearby road at 3:30 p.m. Despite dozens of interviews and retracing steps, Deirdre has never been found. Claire Boylan. She was only 36 years old. She left her Terranoo home on March the 2nd, 2003 to meet a friend that lived over 60 miles away, but she never arrived. Her passport, bank cards, and luggage remained in her room. Unconfirmed sightings trickled in for several weeks, but Claire's disappearance still remains unsolved. So when is Ireland going to investigate their missing villagers? What's going on with this vanishing triangle? All of these women disappeared from the same part of Ireland, many without a clear motive or a suspect. Some were later found dead. Others remain missing to this very day. Even as new techniques like drones, cadaver dogs, and ground-penetrating radar are used, the Vanishing Triangle keeps its dark secrets, waiting for someone to bring them into the light.
They hate you. You're gonna die. I don't want to do this.